Hi everyone and welcome back. Hope you're all well. Today I want to do a product review and I want to look at nut and seed bars. There are loads of different bars on the market, and go around the supermarket you can see in lots of different aisles you've got breakfast bars, you've got cereal bars, you've got pressed fruit bars, you've got flapjack kind of bars, so there's loads of things out there, but the ones I want to look at today are the ones that are based predominantly on either nuts and seeds. So if you turn them over and look at the ingredient list, the first ingredient will either be nuts of some kind or seeds of some kind. So these are the ones that I'm looking at. And today I've got 4 brands to show you. So we're going to look at Eat Natural, we're going to look at 9 Bar, we're going to look at Kind bars, and we're going to look at Perkia seed and quinoa bars, because they all list nuts or seeds as the first ingredient. Some of those manufacturers also do cereal bars, for example, but I'm just literally looking at those nut and seed bars for today. So in doing a nutritional review of these products, I'm going to consider the whole. So I'm going to look at calories, sugar, fat and protein to give you a really holistic overview of the products. Now it's important to bear in mind, if you're making a bar product out of small items like nuts or seeds, you've got to stick them together somehow, or it would just be a handful of nuts and seeds. So you need a binding agent, and that is usually some kind of sugar. So people might turn their noses up at some of these products because they have added sugar, for example, but if you were going to make a product like this at home, you would still have to find a way of sticking all of the nuts and seeds together. So they do it in different ways. They use different ingredients, some syrups, some different types of sugar that are then heated up in the baking process, or you can use pastes of dried fruit, for example, for sticking, but in most of these cases it's just different kinds of syrup to stick the products together. So I'm going to consider the nutrients per 100 grams and also per serve, because per serve is what you're eating, but it's not always comparable simply because there are different serving sizes. I've tried to pick the ones that are the closest to one another, but there is a little bit of a variation between about 35 and 45 grams depending upon the manufacturer. So the first product I'm going to consider is 9 Bar. So these are lots of different seeds pressed together. You've got sunflower, pumpkin, sesame and hemp seeds. And this one has a carob topping, but they also do ones without a carob topping if that's not something that you want or like the taste of, for example. So this is a 40 gram serve size. They do a 50 gram serve size as well, and this comes in at the highest calories across the range, highest fat and highest protein per 100 grams. Per serve, they are the highest calorie and the highest in fat, so 220 calories on average and just under 16 grams of fat per serving. But bear in mind that around 200 calories for a snack is actually just fine, so you know you're not going to be overindulging if you have this as a snack in the morning or in the afternoon. So next up, I'm going to look at Kind bars. Now these are pretty large pieces of nuts, some whole nuts and large pieces of some of the larger nuts chopped up and stuck together with a glucose syrup and honey mixture. And these are the lowest sugar of all the bars that I'm looking at. So per serve they come in 8.2 grams of sugar, and that's a 40 gram serve size. They are followed very closely by 9 Bar, who are relatively low in sugar for the category. So there's not a lot of difference. One's based on seeds and one's based on nuts. But this is really where Kind do hang their hats in terms of their claims. They really sort of focus on being the lowest in sugar that they can be. So if that's something that you're looking for, then that might be of interest to you. So next up, I'm going to look at Perkia bars. So you can see here they are a quinoa bar, so little puffed pieces of quinoa, but the first ingredient is the seed mixture, so it's mainly seeds, and this is also a cashew based product as well. And again they use cassava syrup, brown rice syrup, again a source of sugar to help bind the ingredients together. So Perkia come in at the lowest number of calories per 100 grams and per serve. They're at 146 calories on average per serve, and they're also the lowest in fat. They are the highest in sugar per 100 grams, but because they've got quite a small serve size, 35 grams, they aren't the highest in sugar per serving. So if you're looking for a lower calorie bar, this is certainly one to look out for, but because of the seeds and the quinoa, you're still getting a source of protein, and there's also a source of fibre. So certainly lots of good things packed in there. So finally, I'm going to look at Eat Natural bars. Now this is a 33 gram serve size. It's all they had in the supermarket when I was shopping, but I'm using the figures per serve for the 45 gram serving size, just because it's a little bit closer to the rest of the portion sizes of the bars that I'm looking at. So per serving, Eat Natural have the highest amount of sugar of all of the bars that we're looking at, so 12.6 grams of sugar, but they also have the highest amount of protein per serve at 7.5 grams. Again, I'm just considering the nut and seed based ones. They do lots of other cereal and fruity kind of bars, but I'm literally just looking at the nutty ones here, which is why there's a higher protein level in these products. So these bars all look and taste very different. The Kind bars are large pieces of nuts and whole nuts, which can make them a little bit difficult to eat when you're sort of trying to chew through hard pieces of nuts, but they're certainly not impossible to eat, and they're very tasty. They have a little drizzle of chocolate, so they're not covered in chocolate, which helps to keep the sugar down, but it gives you a little bit of a taste, and some of them have pieces of dried fruit in as well. The Eat Natural bars tend to contain little puffs of rice, for example, or other kind of crispies, as well as nuts, and some of them have chocolate on as well. But they tend to be smaller pieces, a little bit of a lighter eat. And I think the Perkia bars, again, are a lighter eat. There are more puffed bits of quinoa, little bits of dried fruit, and some seeds all stuck together in a bar. And so again, they're quite a chewy texture, and they're quite a light eat. So I would say, because they're lower calorie, they would probably be more of a light snack if I was being a bit less active and I was looking for a snack on a non-training day. I would probably go for a Perkia bar. Even though there's a source of protein and fibre, it might not keep me going as long as a Kind bar, for example. So I would maybe use a Kind bar on a day where I'm going to do training, or if I'm on the go and I know I'm not going to be able to get anything to eat for a while. The same would go for 9 bar, so they're quite a dense bar. They've got lots of chopped up seeds really sort of packed together quite densely, and so they really give you an energy boost. And certainly if you've got the 50 gram serving size, which is the biggest, that's going to give you a real whopper of an energy boost. Personally, I would probably have the 40 gram serve size, which at 220 calories is still adequate as a snack, and you're going to get protein and fibre and lots of vitamins and minerals from those seeds. So again, a good option for me maybe on a training day, because it's packing a little bit more of a punch on the energy side. So which would you choose? It's really up to you and your taste buds. Bear in mind that all of these bars are going to be high in fat, so they would have a red traffic light for fat, but these are healthy fats. They're going to be the monounsaturated fats, and there's a source of omega-3 in some of the products that contain seeds, like chia seeds or flax seeds, for example. So I wouldn't worry unduly about the fat content of these products. The Kind bars and the 9 bars will be amber for sugar. So if you are looking to keep your sugar levels down, you might want to consider these options. The other 2 bars, the Perkia and the natural bars, would have a red traffic light for sugar. So you may want to think of those as more of a treat. But really, when you think about the portion size, because it's relatively small and it's only going to be between 150 and just over 200 calories per serve, you don't need to worry too much, because per serving you're not going to get a hefty amount of sugar in any of these products. So I think all of them can fit into a healthy, balanced diet, and I would go with whatever you fancy on that day. So I'd just like to sum up by saying I haven't been paid by any of these brands, I don't work for any of these brands. The people at Kind were very kind, and they did send me some free products. It wasn't in exchange for a review, but this is just an independent nutritionist's review. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll put a little bit of information down below about the products that I reviewed and the nutritionals. But if you like what you hear, then do please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!